All right, thanks for staying with us now. According to Alan Manley, while profitability is essential for any startup to ensure ongoing viability, profits alone aren't what separates a successful business from a mediocre one. Now, if you're a budding entrepreneur, being curious and asking tough questions is a good start on the path to success. But the key traits shared by all successful startups is the willingness to disrupt established industries, and it's the source of that willingness to disrupt which separates the good from the great. Now, so what drives entrepreneurs to want to disrupt an industry, and how do we start profiting from the passion that we have? That's a conversation tonight, and we have our guest with us, Temi Adegulugbe. She is the creative head of Anais, right? Designs. I don't know I hope I'm getting the name right. She's a leading interior design firm in Lagos. Temi is responsible for creation and execution of creative designs. She is a sought-after designer by corporate and individuals in Nigeria and overseas. Also, she works for companies like the oil and gas, telecoms, and all residential buildings. In fact, everything, she's there with you. Now, Temi is very passionate about creating new designs and project management, and she's a wife and a mother. And she's joined us live in studio. Hello, Temi. Welcome. We apologize for the delay, but sometimes technical issues just have a way of getting under our nerves. But thank you for joining us. But quickly, I wanted to hear the thoughts of Uti and Glory on, what's it called? When you hear the word passion and you hear the word profit, is it really possible for you to convert something that you're really passionate about and start to earn money from it? Because not many people are successful at that. Because I keep finding that when you're passionate about something, you usually not think about money. So you're just doing it until maybe you probably burn out. I'm telling you that some people still do it.
This factor has not gotten to you yet.
Really, right? You agree with that, Uti?
So it depends. I think it's down to the individual. Some people are really passionate. So there's that. I was trying to remember what that. What's the word now? The phrase was, or the quote that says, "Don't work for money. Find what you're passionate at, and the money will come." Something along those lines. I think it depends on the individual. Some people are very centered on money. There are people still, I think, in this world today who money is not everything. Yes, we know that people need money to survive, but I think there are people who still quit jobs today because they place their happiness over their need for money. It sounds odd and it sounds rare, but there are still people like that today. Maybe less so as the economy worsens, but there are still people like that. So I think it's a personal decision. Some people can't deal with the fear. Some people are just not passionate or enough. Some people don't know what their passions are. But there's lots of different reasons. But I think that the question for me, and there are probably two questions that I would like to ask today, is a lot of people who are passionate, do they have the skills and the knowledge to turn that passion into a profit?
Absolutely.
Because it's one thing to be passionate, it's another thing to be able to do it well enough, or know how to channel your passion to make it profitable.
Awesome. So that would just tie in nicely to the question I wanted to ask. But let me give you a quick background. So Temi and I, we've been friends for God knows how long. I think it's over a decade actually. And I know that she's always loved, if you go into her home, she would always buy all those creative things, put them on the table, do the flower arrangements and all of that. She has always been passionate about interiors, but she used to do it within her space, her office. You would see that, okay, this person has a bit of, so that thing you just talked about, training. I remember that when Temi was going full-time into interior designs, she actually went, I say this big madam, but she was actually going to a particular school. So maybe Temi, you start to share that story. Thank you so much again for joining us. You share that story with us, why you decided to go full-time into interior, and what made you feel it was important for you to go through that training, because not many people understand that is also critical in converting that passion to money.
Like she said, not a lot of people find profit in their passion. So what I would say is, generally, if you have a passion, you don't want to leave that passion, but you want to find something else that gives you profits. So like you have a second business by the side, and then you start to follow your passion. After a while, because you just love to do this thing, the passion starts to bring in the box, and then gradually you'll be able to leave the profit business, and then you'll be able to concentrate fully on the passion that's paying you. But if you just say, oh, I have passion for this thing, and you go into it full time, you might not make money. So you'll be forced to leave that thing at the end of the day. But have something you're doing that gives you the money, the profits, and then you're doing your passion by the side. You find out that you're doing this effortlessly, and then it keeps growing, and then the money comes in, and then you'll be able to leave this.
So how did you move it effortlessly? Because you are collecting big money now. I called my friend to come and do a project for me. She said, "Peace, that money." She calls me Peace, my English name. That money is not going to work. But tell us why did you think it was important for you to go through that training? Because it's not like you didn't have you already had the creative side inside of you, but you needed to go through, learning the ropes and all of that.
Okay, so I get your question. As you said, I knew what I wanted. I knew what I could do. But then I came back into the scene. I came back to Nigeria, and I wanted to know, how does it work? How do you turn this into a business? So naturally, I would go to a friend's house or a family's place and just do it for free. But then I'm like, okay, I want to start making money from this thing. How do I? So I need to look for someone in my industry, someone that is already settled and knows. So I don't want to go through all the ups and downs of a growing business. I want to go to someone that is already established, learn from them. What are the pros and cons? What should I do? What shouldn't I do? How do you build clients? How do you not work for free? Because on a normal day, I would work for free. Because as I said, I love what I do. So I'll come to your place and say, you know what, I can do it for you for free. So I had to go. I looked for this. I have, how do you say it now, a mentor in this industry. And then I went there and I go like, I'm going to do this internship for 6 months. You don't have to pay me, I went there and I became a student, I was with the younger staff there. I sat down and in fact, when I got there, the first 2 weeks, I'm sure if he's listening now or if he's watching one day, I was wondering, what are these people saying? They just kind of take measurements. And I'm wondering, is this what I came here to do? But at the end of the day, I found out that those take measurements that he was telling me is coming in very handy. And then nowadays, I get somewhere and we're talking, and the people say, okay, so what are you? And I'm like, don't worry, I can. Are you sure you can do it? Yes, I can. So I was able to learn from him easily. There are a lot of things I didn't know about the business parts of the business. I just knew how to do what I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to sit in front of a client, how to give you a quote how to source for things in Nigeria. Like if you have to source for things, yes. But how does it work exactly in Nigeria? How do you propose something to a company and tell them that you can do? And then how in Nigeria, a lot of people know that you can do this thing, but because you don't have experience in it, they don't want to give it to you. They would rather go give it to
an established
person and pay more. But of course, that established company is still coming to call you. You're joining them to do that thing. So how can I get to this stage? There was a point when one day I sat down and I was telling my husband, how do you get clients? I know what I want to do. I have these dreams. I have these ideas up my head. All I need is someone that is willing to take the idea from me. Yeah. And then I go like, how do you get clients? And it was like, just keep doing what you're doing. The clients will come, And then, to God be the glory now, the clients are coming.
The clients are coming.
Yes.
And they're coming in their numbers. But glory.
So passion, I think, happens sometimes 2 ways, depending on each individual. Some people, especially the youngsters, when they're small, they have opportunities where they express their passion, and you find maybe the elder ones picks it up and start building on it. Yes. So it's easy for them at maybe adulthood. By that time, it's easy to convert that to profit because there's just that building and developmental stage. But some people who are not opportune enough would just nurse that inside, and just like what she said, look for something you can be doing to support your passion. When growing up, I had things I was very passionate about, and I know how much so I've spent my money in things which I'm passionate about without receiving returns. And I'm going to be very honest, even as at now, I still have this passion which I'm still working on, right? And right now my thought process is, how do I, because I've spent a long time building on this passion, how do I convert this to profit? So with the experience I've had in working in other industries and everything, I'm gradually seeing how I can easily, so once I'm going fully into my passion, I know how to convert this to profit. So in the interim, I feel like turning passion to profit, it's a process, right? There is the investment stage where you really just have to either self-development, you have to just give in that free time, working, doing, just generally building on it. And there's also the time where you can easily turn that to, but I think turning it to profit has to be very conscious. Like, you have to get to that stage where, yes, you have to be very intentional. You have to get to that stage where you say, how do I use this to pay my bills? If you don't get to that point where you have to think that, I feel like you'll still be in that stage where you're just giving out these things, or doing these things for just doing sake, and just because you like it. Yes.
So, interior design, clearly that's who you are, that's what you love. I always like to think about what our viewers are thinking. So they're people who have skills or love, passion. So clearly you were doing something before you decided to set up, or something else before you decided to set up your company. What was the tipping point, or what pushed you? What was it that said, you know what, today is that day where I'm going to go and search for a name, I'm going to start? What was the thing that got you there?
For the interior?
Yes.
Okay, so I've always been a creative person. So when you talk creativity, a creative person will always be able to create something, like from nothing, you just think of something. So I've always been, used to be in the beauty line. I used to be a makeup artist. I had the beauty world, I had the salon. I just like to create something from nothing. And then I went into exportation. So I came back, I was still into my exportation, as I said. And then I knew I wanted to do this thing. Okay, so I'm going to say something about my own case, which might not work for everybody, which is grace. So you see, Anais Design, that's why I was telling her now that the name is an Hebrew name for grace. It wasn't a thought out plan, like I didn't have this business idea written down, planned, okay, I'll do this one day, we'll get to, no. It just happened. Like, I knew I wanted to do this thing. I knew I was going to do it one day. I was doing my house, myself, and then people come in and say, oh wow, your house is beautiful. Thank you. I wasn't, and then one day while I was scrolling through Instagram, as I said, this mentor of mine, I just saw his thing flash and it says, interns wanted. And I'm like, why not just, it wasn't like I planned the day before that I was going to be an intern tomorrow. I just saw that thing, and then I sent him a message and said, what kind of interns are you guys taking? He's like, if you're interested. I said, okay, can I come in? And it was supposed to be the next day. The next day I got dressed, I just drove down there. And he's like, okay, you're going to do a test. And then I called him by said, I don't know, all these your questions I cannot answer. You know, we were about 3 or 4 people that came for it. He said, Temi, just write anything. I said, I know what I want, but I don't know how to put it down. He said, just write anything. It doesn't have, nobody's giving you 100%. Just write what you know. So I said, okay. And then I did, I didn't study for anything. I just did the test. I submitted. I said, okay, we'll get back to you. I went back home and I was laughing like, these people are not going to call me back. Because I didn't write anything, I thought. And then I came back, and out of all of us that went for that internship, I was the only one that came back. As I said, I'm older than all of them. I would get there earlier than the staff. I would sit, I would be there by 8 o'clock, waiting for everybody to get there at 9. And then, okay, so what am I doing today? I'm doing measurements. I say, okay. So as I said, it wasn't a thought out plan. It just happened. And because we were talking about passion, because it's something I love to do, I have other means of income. At that point, that wasn't my source of income. So I'm able to concentrate on this and not suffer, because this is not what is bringing in the box. Do you understand? So if you have something else by the side, this so-called passion will be able to grow gradually. So I was able to start like doing different things without thinking about okay, for my first few, in fact, till now, clients will give me a job. What is it? I'll do more than you have asked me to, because I just love to see that thing. So when you're done, you go like, wow, I'm not, I could keep I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. That extra that I've given you, I didn't have to do it because it's not in your budget. Or you told me that, you know what, I can't afford that. But because I want that space to look in a particular way, I would go ahead and do it. And you know, for every time I've done that, I've not done any advertisement at all.
But it keeps coming.
No, it just keeps coming. So my story is not someone needs to, all I would say is tell anyone that wants to go into this, first of all, should have the passion. Don't think of going into the interior business because you think people are making money from it. You might not. And then I found out that even though you'd see a lot of advertisements around, people don't go for those people. They would go for a person, okay, let's say like, they will go for a person because who did your makeup? Okay, I want this person. Not because somebody is advertising makeup on TV or on Instagram. Or I see Uwa and I go like, I love your weave. Where did you buy it from? I'm just going to go buy from that person. Even if this person is selling and she's advertising, I might not buy from her. So that's how it's been. For every job that I've done, I would get like 10 calls from that job.
Just
because
one.
I go the extra mile. And you know, I have this.
Why are you smiling?
No, so you know, when you said that it may not work for everybody, I think that in everything you were saying, one thing just kept ringing for me was the dedication. So you had the passion, but you could have said that, oh, because all these people are younger than me, this is not my source of income. I could get there at 9:30. After all, I know the owner. But, you know, you got there at 8 o'clock. So when we start to chart the journey of how do you get from passion to profits, please, that dedication. Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Temi is downplaying this thing. She lives Lekki all the way to Yaba. Like, people don't understand, like, the traffic, all the rigmaroles and all that.
I have school runs to do.
And she still had school runs. Yeah, go ahead.
I would go there, drop my kids off in the morning, drive. Even though I get there, the cleaners are not even there yet. I'll just sit in the car, wait for them, you know, sit down. And then I had I called them my teachers, 2 of them. I would call them my teachers, like, oh, okay, teach me this thing now. And you go like, Madam Temi, then they will go ahead and, you know, teach me. And then I'll say, guys, you know what, I want to be going to the site. I don't want to sit in the office. They will say, Temi, learn from here first. I was just too eager to go to site, but I was there learning the little bit. And as I said, I did that straight for maybe more than 6 months. You know, I'm still very good friends with this mentor. I still call them my family because, you know, I learned so much from them. And by the time I was going on my own, it was so easy. Like, I would, even if I get to a place where I don't know what to do, I'll just call him and go like, okay, so if I have to do so and so thing, okay, there was this company I was supposed to give my portfolio to. And they said, have you done this before? And I haven't. But I've done it with the company. So I called him and go like, I want to get this job. I've not done it before. I know I worked with you guys on, and he said, of course, Temi, they sent all the details, because I worked with them on it, sent all the details to me and said, he would even teach me how to package the thing. And then I was able to get the job. So gradually, I was able to leave that.
Not paid title. You've not paid title. Go ahead.
I was able to leave that other profit-making business, I said. So now people ask me, aren't you taking, because I used to do exports. Aren't you
taking orders?
No, I used to sell in the US. So aren't you going again? I'm like, no, I'm too busy to do that now because this is paying me more than that. So I don't have to do that again.
Passion, dedication, mentorship. I'm counting them just so that our visitors just know that they're picking up the tips.
In this country where we are, a lot of people won't mentor you. I think because they're the bad mentors and they're the bad mentees too. There's some mentees that would maybe take things for granted. So you'll be really lucky to find 1 or 2 people. So I have 2 people that I would call for any question and they would answer me. You know, they're not afraid that I'm coming to steal their clients. Or if you have a particular source, I'm not going to go there behind your back. So if you're able to find a good mentor that is ready to, like I have people that I'm mentors to now, they would ask me and I would tell them exactly how they should do it and how they shouldn't do it. So if you can find a mentor that would, you know, take you and teach you, you know, what's that proverb about? something in front, the others are watching
behind.
That way you don't make the same mistake that you made. So if you're about to make that mistake, somebody can say no, don't do it that way, just stop and go this way. It's helped me a lot.
But I was just going to add something, that how important is it for you to be hungry about the thing? Because you see, it's one thing for you to be passionate, right, about it, but there was a hunger for you, right? You really wanted to know these things, because sometimes, so currently I'm interning now, even though they don't consider me as a serious intern. Because I'm trying to start a new career path, right? And you know, it requires a lot, because it's like everything in my brain, I have to pour it out. But I noticed that sometimes it's not like I might really be passionate about it, but I just know that this thing, if I get it right, is going to bring in some good income for me, right? Is there a difference, right? Would your dedication level be different at that stage, where you are just in it that because you know this thing is profitable? So somebody's looking at you now and saying, I want to become an interior designer, not because I'm passionate about it, but because I just know it's profitable. And so would it be different from somebody that is really, really hungry and passionate about it? Would it show?
It would. As you said, if you are very passionate about something, you might not be dedicated if you are not getting profit from it, even though you're passionate about it, because you have to go do some other things that would, do you understand? So apart from you having that passion and wanting, make sure that it's convenient for whatever else you're doing. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
I'm trying to get
Okay, so I have friends that are also, I would say they're interior designers, but they will come and ask me questions like, oh, you know what, can you give me one of your artisans? And I go like, you guys don't understand that the artisans are not the one doing the work.
It is you. The
work is for me. They're just the laborers. They do the knocking, the heavy carrying, but the whole idea, the thought process comes from me. So even if I tell you, okay, this is the person that works for me that does it, if you go meet the person, you're not going to get the same results, because I do all the thinking, the
work,
way it's supposed to turn out, how it's supposed to go, how we are supposed to insert it. Even though they're the ones that will do it, I'm standing there and supervising this is exactly how I want it to be. Or they do it sometimes, they go like, Madam, where are you going? I say, no. What about if we curve it this way? And do you understand? So someone comes and says, you know what, I want to be an interior. Can you introduce? Because a lot of people, as you said, it's not easy to find mentors. So they come to you, because I've been lucky to find someone that has been good to me. I want to be open to a lot of people. So they come and say, oh, give me so. And I'm looking at them like, you don't understand. That's not the way to go about it. But an average person does not want to hear the truth. Like, you can't come out and say, you don't understand this business. You have to get into it yourself. You know, recently I was talking to someone, an architect, and the next thing he looked at me and said, are you an architect? I'm like, I don't have to. I've studied architecture. Like, if I start, I can tell you exactly how I want the thing to be. And he said, because you sound very knowledgeable in this thing. Yes, I know it. The passion is there. But an average person that says they want to be an interior designer will just come and say, okay, I'll just go and employ an architect. Tell the person, I want this job. And then when the person doesn't do it, you're wondering, you told him, the person has a different vision. You have a different, except you can teach that person, let them see exactly what you see and say, okay, this is exactly, then you guys can be on the same page.
Absolutely. On that note, Uti, you have a comment. Wow.
Okay, so it says, okay, so this is Austin from Delta. So for me, passion should be the driving force. When we are advised to venture into streams of income, some will eventually run in and run out due to lack of passion. But once you love doing it, it's easy to turn it into money spinning. I agree with your guest when she talked about training and going the extra mile. Thank you, Austin.
Thank you, Austin from Delta State. On that note, we have run out of time. Just like that, the day has gone.
Indeed.
Final comment?
Yes, I was going to ask, but you obviously sound like you were always an entrepreneur. And I know that a lot of people have passion, but they're not entrepreneurs. So I'm suspecting that the switch was easier for you. But what would be your advice to someone who's watching right now?
9 to 5.
I have a 9-to-5 job. I probably don't have a lot of time, but I'm passionate about something. How can I do it?
Say don't leave the 9 to 5 yet. We all know what Nigeria is saying now. But start that passion by the side. Not fully, not 100%. So start it by the side. if you have to get an intern or someone, some face for that business, once you see it growing and bringing in a little bit of profit for you, where you can now leave this one, but don't just say, you know what, I want to leave my 9 to 5 and go into my passion. Take your time.
Absolutely.
And know that that's your end game.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Temi. I think we had a fantastic. We hope to bring you back again, hopefully for a longer period of time. Thank you, Glory. Thank you, Uti. Now, before we go, ensure you follow us on Instagram at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all our engagements on social media, like, share, invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Now, if you missed today's quote, here it is again. You can only turn your passion to profit when your greatest joy meets the world's greatest need. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. It's our Ladies' Night Out as we bring another great conversation to you soon. Enjoy.